Okay, guten Tag alle. Heute wollte ich nur kurz über das Gerundium sprechen, or the gerund, and how to form it in German from verbs. In English, it's relatively straightforward by just using an ing form. But just about any verb can be made into a noun by capitalizing the infinitive in German. Such nouns are always neuter, and they usually correspond to the gerund or ing form in English. For example, einkaufen to shop, das Einkaufen, shopping. Flüstern to whisper, das Flüstern, whispering. Gehen to go, das Gehen, going. Jammern to whine, das Jammern, the whining. Lachen to laugh, das Lachen, laughing. Schwimmen to swim, das Schwimmen, swimming. Trinken to drink, das Trinken, drinking. English typically uses such gerunds without an article. German noun gerunds are often, however, accompanied by the definite article. For example, das Gehen fällt mir schwer. In English, we would just say walking is difficult for me without the definite article, but in German, the das is present. Wann werden wir mit dem Singen anfangen? When will we start with the singing? You will notice that the article in German reflects the case of the noun that it is in front of. So in this case, mit is a dative preposition, thus making the das change to dem. There's another kind of gerund that implies disapproval of an action. In German, this is formed by an erei ending, an lerei ending, or an erei ending. It does not have a plural, and its gender is always feminine, unlike the previous example. Arbeiten, for example, to work, we can make that die Arbeiterei, or basically the silly working. Lächeln, to smile. Die Lächelei, which is just the silly smiling, and it again implies a disapproval. Another way to form a gerund, this one also expressing disapproval, is to place the prefix ge after the separable prefix if there is one. If the verb doesn't have a permanent prefix, then attach the ending er. For example, fahren, das Gefahren, which again is another way of expressing a little bit of disapproval, this silly driving around. Laufen, das Gelaufen, and this running around. In English, we form the present progressive tense through the use of gerunds, but in German they do not, and this is an important distinction to make. In English, we can say, for example, I am driving to school, and the driving in German, however, is just ich fahre zur Schule. So in English, while we use driving in the present progressive tense, and we include that sein verb am, or a conjugation of it, in this case, I am driving. In German, it's ich fahre zur Schule. So we can actually translate this German sentence as either I drive to school, which is just the present tense, or I am driving to school in the present perfect tense. And to further add to the confusion in German, sometimes this form can even mean the future. Adjective forms can also be made in German that resemble gerunds by adding end to the root of the verb from which it came. These adjectives will take endings to match the case of the noun that they are describing. So, for example, wachsen means to grow, and you can say das Wachsen, which is the forming the gerund, the growing. Or we can actually make it into an adjective by saying wachsend. We just add the end onto the root. Der wachsende Baum wird immer größer. So this case, it has an e ending because Baum is the subject of the sentence, therefore nominative case, and so it takes the e ending. Strahlen, to beam. Again, das Strahlen oder strahlend. Ich sehe den strahlenden Stern. I see the beaming star. In this case, star is the direct object. And being a der Stern originally, it changes to den. Okay. Und ich denke, das war alles. Vielen Dank. Auf Wiedersehen.